All right, here we are. We're back. I told you I'd bring you back for an update video for this guy. So here we are. The 71 wagon. We'll go ahead and do a little walk around of her for you. I apologize, it's a little slick down here. There's a little bit of rust right there. You can see it in the rear quarter. Nothing real special. Right in the rear window level, there's a little bit of rust. So right in here, there's a little bubbling right in here and here. So I'll probably end up having to do a good bit of work there. There's a small bubble right here. Everything else looks pretty solid. There's a little spot right here. I think it's just where something scratched the paint. All in here looks good. All this up here looks nice and solid. All this in here looks good. All around this window tray actually looks very well. Right here's some bubbling. I don't think it's actually rot though. Same thing here, a little bit of bubbling. I don't think it's rot. And here, I believe we actually have a decent amount of issues that we're going to find as we start digging into that. You work your way on around the back to the tailgate area. Yes, the tail light's jacked. Don't know what's wrong with the situation there. And there's wires hanging out of it, not real sure. Same thing here, we've got a little bit of bubbling. I don't know if we're gonna find rot or just some bubbling. And all the way, kind of all the way across it. Let's see, look at that. Paint's peeling or Bondo, one of the two, not real sure. Big dent right here that we're gonna have to work out of it. A little bit of Bondo peelage right here also, or paint cracking. That's some thick paint if that's paint. So, you know, it's cracked all the way around, all the way across the bottom, like it's been, almost like it's been hit right here, or the hinges may not work, so this might hit the bottom of the bumper here. I don't know. Same thing right here in the corner, although I don't see a lot of rot under here. You can see real good, it's just a little bit of flaky rust right there, nothing special. And then on this side, it all looks pretty good. There's no rot in the bottoms showing yet. Across the window lip right here, just a little bit of bubbling like in the paint, but nothing special. Same thing all the way across there. You look down here across this rear fender lip here, it all looks good. I don't see anything really major there. I think this will be the first time we've actually been able to open the car up and look inside here. I've already kind of started digging through this stuff. We have the rear trunk panel. As you see, there's no trunk panel in it. I don't know what all this stuff is. This looks like a door handle. I bet it's the rear door handle that's off back there. And just some other random stuff, but it don't look bad in here. It actually looks decent. Somebody's recovered these door panels, I believe, and same thing for the roof. It's actually a carpety material. It's not so much a, oh, that's gonna be fun to find. This right here, this inner panel's cracked right here across the top. You go to the front. I've left the windows down for the last couple of days. It's not been raining or anything. It's musty in here. Somebody's put some aftermarket seats in it. Not aftermarkets, but I believe they're, I know they don't belong to the car. They've put a stupid SS dash cover thing. The dash top's loose. It's junk anyway. Yes, I had to pull the steering column apart to put an ignition switch in it. So now we have a switch that works. Hammers in the seat, I need to pick that up. All the carpet actually looks decent. I'm gonna probably pull it and replace it anyway. And then, as I said, I don't believe that's original. Somebody will tell me. Then we work our way back to the front of this thing. As you can tell, I've got a carburetor out here. Well, this is how you open it. This is how we found the motor right here. So I'm assuming that what we're gonna have is this motor's probably no good. I have put a wrench on it and it will turn. Pull the distributor cap off and the rotor button's gone. Don't know why. And then this valve cover's loose. You tell me. So I pulled the valve cover and surprise! Rocker arm is missing. Strange. Well, it's not that strange, as I have found, if I recall correctly, it's laying here on the driver's floor. Well, either way, there's a push rod in here somewhere that I'm gonna have to find and put back in that motor. Somebody's just taken out and thrown in here for some reason. Not really sure why they did it. I don't know if they were using it for a parts car, and here it is, push rod. So I don't know if it was being used for parts or if there's something really wrong with the motor, but there's not a rocker arm or anything anywhere in the car. So we're gonna go steal that off another motor I got in the shop, and we'll go from there. These do appear to be an aftermarket push rod, a one-piece push rod, so they're not a little cap, they're not a little cap and ball push rod. That's a good sign. So we'll take it inside, polish it up, and we'll steal a rocker arm. Then we're gonna bolt that carburetor right on top. Probably just use 2 bolts and spray it with some starting fluid or gasoline. Also got to get a rotor button for it, and we'll see if this thing will run. I'll bring y'all back. All right, so here's what we got. I set the carburetor on already put 2 bolts in it. They're not the right bolts for it, but they'll work for the time being. This isn't staying. More than likely, probably won't even keep a 350 in the car, so this is more of a let's make it run deal than, well, not so much let's make it run, let's attempt to make it run deal. I found a rocker arm. I took it off an old TBI motor that we just pulled out of a van. That video will be coming up soon. I'm just borrowing it. It belongs to Mr. Holloway, not mine, so not intending to keep it, just to borrow it to see if this thing will run. I may not even put it on. I ain't even decided yet, because it is a self-aligner, and these don't appear to be self-aligning rockers that's on this thing currently. We'll see how bad the lineup is on it. We'll also see if it's even got a lifter in there. So here's the push rod somewhere. It's way over there. Where did I set that push rod at? I apologize. There it is. Here's the push rod. I cleaned it a little bit. I do have some care, but it's got some rust in it, so we'll just call it good enough. And we're gonna see if it's even got a lifter in there. Ready? Let's see. I'm feeling for it. Well, my dumbass just stuck it in the wrong hole, so you're never gonna find a lifter if you go in the wrong hole, are you? Well, there's a lifter still in there. That's good. Now the question is, how bad is this self-aligning rocker going to be on this rocker arm? So let's see. Let me set her down right here. It's not that bad. We're going to run it. It's good enough for what we're doing. So we can actually open and close some valve action here. That's now. Alright, so we found TDC, or extremely close to TDC. We're a hair past it, and I don't want to keep turning it. So here's how I do this. I take a McDonald's straw, because as all knows, a small block has less than 7 inches of stroke, and I drop it down the #1 spark plug hole. And then I'll turn the motor by hand until it gets to the top, pull it out, put the spark plug in, and we know we're at top dead center. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves, are we at top dead center exhaust, top dead center intake? You know, all those things kind of matter. But we can determine that #1 at top dead center would be both valves closed. So then you follow the firing order 1, 8, 4, 3. So now #6 if we're on the if both number 6 valves are closed. So you have 2, 4, 6. So if both number 6 valves are closed, then we know that we're 180 out. So looking at these, both these rockers are closed, so we know the distributor is 180 out right now. So that means number 1 is roughly straight at the firewall if you look at the rotor button right now, which surprisingly is about where it was when I started. So now all we gotta do is put the distributor cap back on, put the plug wires to it, dump some fuel down the carburetor, and see if it busts to life. Because you would assume that whoever had it close to running or had it running, right? Here we go. All right, so now we've got all the plug wires hooked up except for number 2, simply because I don't have a number 2 plug wire laying out here right this second. So I've spent about 25 minutes out here looking at this thing, and I just started plugging plug wires and setting the carburetor on and fixing the distributor, and then I got to looking at what I'm gonna have to deal with the starter. And while it's sitting outside, I'm probably not gonna do it because I had to jack it up and crawl under it and all that goodness. And I just don't feel like it. I may or may not fix it, but there you go. If you look right here, you can see here's your starter lead right here, just laying in here somewhere. And then if you look right here, all these wires are just ran down and bolted to the main lug of the starter. So I'm going to crawl under it and hook all this from the main lug of the starter, which is this guy, this big battery lead here. And then I can run a wire up to make a battery connection and make this thing run. But honestly, is it really worth it to me at this point? I think not. And I say that because I have the full intent of removing this engine and trans anyway. So I guess at this point I will have to say no, it's not worth the money to me, or not really money but time. If I do start it or attempt to start it, I will bring y'all back for that. So for now, I guess the video on this thing is done, and I'm gonna go back to work on the C10. All right, it's Matt, BlindGuysGarage. I'm back. It's been a few days since we've worked on this project. Of course, y'all won't know that because it's gonna be on the same video. But we're trying to make this old thing run, see if we can make it run. So I've made a little crap fuel system for it, but it'll be enough. So here we go. Carburetor, line to the fuel pump. Look at that. Cute little Powerade bottle mounted down right here. And all you do, take the cap off, dip the fuel, dip it in. I'm sure y'all have all done it, and if you hadn't, you should try it. It works great on old school cars. So here we go. We're gonna try to get it running. I'm gonna set you up on a tripod. We're gonna try to make it run. Bring it back as soon as we do. You ready? Yeah. I would call that running. It's cheating. Running.
I thought your fuel pump's put in.
Truck, I keep putting time in it. I don't think the fuel pump's bad. There was fuel. You hear it?
Mm.
Want more time in or less? I think it wants some choke. It's cold outside. It's just choking now. Let's see. Oops. it didn't die when you let off. I would call that running.
That was running.
It don't run that bad either.
She's a runner.
That's awesome. It doesn't sound as good as the other one, though, I don't think. The motor sounds a little soft. What the hell was doing that? Put a little more time in. The ignition control module. Chance.
Get back.
It's just stock, but runs. I think we can move it like that if we want to. You want to see if the transmission works? Actually, we can't do that. You know why? Because the transmission line's cut right here. I'm surprised I didn't just get sprayed in the face with transmission. Ooh, is it leaking fluid? Right here?
Yeah, it's leaking out the radiator.
Out the radiator?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pushing it out right here.
Yeah.
Where's that? That means it's got fluid in it, which means the trans will probably work too. Damn. That's awesome.
Cool.
Now I gotta come out here and fix that so I can make the radio work, so I can see if it actually trans works. Holloway's gonna buy the trans from me for his Hudson.
That's sweet.
That is sweet. I'm liking it. I want to do it again, but I can't because trans is dumping fluid everywhere. I just took it off the other side. Right. We put the cap back on it, so at least we're. And I need a different battery in it too, because this battery's not in the right place. Alright, well, as y'all can tell, it runs decently, actually. I'm really surprised considering, yeah, y'all have seen all this already. Look. Hey, does it have oil pressure?
Wet, yeah.
There you go. There it is. It runs. It lives.